7:30 a.m. for the purpose of holding third reading.
All in favor? All opposed? 4.3, local improvement boring bylaw.
Mayor Deck, members of council, I'd like to turn this over to Mindy.
Chair Deck, members of council, as according to section 263(1) of the Municipal Government Act, this section applies to a borrowing bylaw for the purpose of financing the cost of a local improvement to be funded in whole or in part by a local improvement tax. Section 2 states the borrowing bylaw that authorizes the borrowing does not have to be advertised if the amount to be financed by the local improvement tax to pay for the local improvement is equal to or greater than the amount that the municipality will contribute to pay for the local improvement other than through the local improvement tax. In this case, the local improvement tax pays for the full amount, so the bylaw does not need to be advertised. Council has adopted the local improvement tax bylaw. It's pending. In order to meet the commitments of installing the underground services of Highway 28 intersection access to allow for the construction and sale of service properties, administration is recommending that the cost of servicing the lots in Heartland Common and Heartland Station, that council considers the borrowing the funds for the project from Alberta Capital Finance Authority for a term of 15 years. The local improvement that need to be levied total $4,459,247.14 on 50.5 acres of land in Heartland Common and 4.5 acres in Heartland Station, totaling 55 acres. The administration is recommending borrowing $3,600,000 from Alberta Capital Finance for 15 years term at the rate of 5.26, and that the remaining $859,247.14 be borrowed from the capital line of credit in 2024 at a reduced rate of interest. A copy of the loan calculations from ACFA is attached for council's perusal. Equal semi-yearly payments would be required in the amount of $174,994.70. The amount that will be levied on a per acre basis annual will total $7,882.27, which will translate into $81,077.22 in base costs, plus $37,156.81 in interest, for a total of $118,234.03 per acre over the term of the borrowing, and will provide $433,524.78 in yearly revenue to the town, providing the funds that will be required to meet the town's borrowing bylaw commitments. The borrowing bylaw is for 15 years at a rate of 5.6, requiring a total levy of $6,502,871.70, meaning that the levy per acre will be $118,234.3. providing a total accumulated levy of $6,502,871.70, which will provide the funds required to meet the borrowing commitment. As well, attached in this information for council's perusal is information on the town of Gibbons borrowing status as of August the 16th. Presently, we have an operating line of credit of $250,000. It's authorized for $1 million, and the capital line of credit sits at $1,980,766.84. So, in operating line, the town has $2,230,766.84. On September the 8th, the town will be receiving $1,160,000 for the first payment on the 4.5 acres. Of that $1,160,000, the proposal is to pay off the operating line of $250,000 and put the rest, $910,000, against the capital line of credit. In January, early January, the second payment of $1,160,000 will be received on the sale of the 4.5 acres. At that time, the remaining $70,766.84 of the capital line of credit will be paid off, which will leave $3,800,000 of available credit to the town at the beginning of January. By doing this, and it will leave a remainder of $89,233.16 that will be entered into the town operating account. Interest saved per month. Presently on the operating line, we're paid $1,455.14 of interest. And on the capital line, we are paid $13,609 for a total interest paid per month on the operating lines of $15,064.14. Over the next 4 months, we would save $60,256.76. The interest on the $3.6 million loan for 15 years is $1,649,841. If the town borrowed for the full $4.45 million for 15 years, the interest would be $2,043,624.56. So by doing it this way, if council so wishes, the town would save $393,783.56 in interest. Administration is recommending first and second reading of this one.
Mayor Deck, members of council, and one of the other things with this is when we complete the sale of the land, when we initially purchased the land, the Fraser property, it was bought using our line of credit. In addition, when we bought the building for downtown project that we're working on, the Legion project, is the 2 lots there, so we put that on line of credit as well. Further is that we bought the Putnam building, which right now is the extended outreach school, where we have with it. By paying off these, all of those buildings now become fully paid for, and there's no outstanding debt in that regard, and those become full assets. And we have, with it, the Putnam building that's already under lease. And the way we design the lease is that in the term of the lease, it'll actually recover almost the entire purchase price. And that'll come directly back to general revenues. So everything that we've designed through here is also to take care of some of those outstanding matters that are there, so they're off the books. And using this sale to do it. As it was identified by Councillor Dushishin, is that when we went into the project, when we bought the land, and then we turned around, we had to service as part of the sale requirements, and of course the access to the highway and such. Those were requirements in order to make this happen, in order to get Tim Hortons, Loblaws, A&W, and the other commercial rental units. In order to do that, we're making sure that we're trying to, one is to look after the overall responsibility of that, but also make those assets, for the town as well as we go forward, and trying to match that. But at the same time with that sale is that we're now, as I mentioned earlier, is that rather than making $800,000 off a $650,000 purchase, is now we're going to make just over $500,000 in addition, and still own those other properties, and have the line of credit. The interest that we would accrue on the line of credit is now actually going to be recovered through the local improvement bylaw. So that's still factored in to be recovered. That's why at the end of the day, there's no, payment from the general ratepayer. So it's all going to be recovered through that.
Questions? I have a motion for first reading, please. Sorry.
You want to do first reading then questions or what?
You can't have questions until there's been a motion.
Yep.
And I'll move first motion of bylaw alt 6-23.
Recorded vote, please.
All in favor? All opposed? We get a motion for second reading.
I'll move second reading of local improvement borrowing bylaw, alt 6/20.
Now can I ask?
Questions?
So excuse me, everybody, I made some notes last night, so I have to refer to my phone. Obviously, I won't be voting in favor of this for a number of reasons. This year, our budgeting process has been lacking transparency.
Do you have a question?
Yeah, I'm making my points.
Point of order. The
Why?
question has been presented.
Yes,
You have to direct your questions to.
no, they're not
the
questions,
motion.
I have,
It's a question to the motion.
Yeah.
It's a question to the motion.
where's the audit and why haven't we been paid for the $2.6 million? There you go.
Point of
How's that?
order.
No, this question.
The question is to the bylaw. Outside of that,
No problem. I will refer to this point where it says the sale of the 4.5 acres, right here, in the one that we're talking about, Counselor Sandal, that September 8th, we are going to be receiving $1.1 million, and then January 2nd of next year, $1.1 million. This money was supposed to be paid at the end of last year. It was requested to council that we give an extension to have this paid by the end of June, and it's now September 8th. How do we know this money is even coming in? There you go. Is that a question?
Mayor Deck, members of council, is actually the completion of the sale and the closing of the sale was contingent upon gaining an access from the highway and getting that approval from the provincial government, which we just recently received, in addition of having the approval for the access, which we just recently received from the province. So they couldn't complete the sale until we were able to actually remove the conditions. So that is in the place, and those have been actually done, and we have actually signed all the removal of all the conditions, and actually the September 8th is the date that is committed to. And of course, then the next date that has been part of the acceptance and the agreements that we have is January 1. In addition, there's another $310,000 that is paid on and, broken up over 7 payments over 7 years.
Mr.
That was
O'Malley, you
part of
told
that.
us June 30th with no conditions. You told us June 30th that money was gonna come in.
Mayor Deck, members of council, I have briefed council with the change of the agreement along the way with that.
All of
So, Mayor Deck,
council?
members of council. Aye, sir.
Okay, I'd like recorded votes for all of these, please. I
Vote
know
on second reading. All in favor? All opposed? Does anyone wish to make a motion for third reading this evening?
I'll move third reading of the bylaw ALT 6-23.
it. Recorded vote, please.
For third reading of the bylaw.
Third reading.
Yes.
All in favor? All opposed? Defeated? Can I get a motion for a special meeting for August 18th, 2023, 10 a.m. for the purpose of holding third reading?
I'll make a motion to hold third reading for the meeting on August 18th.
All in favor? All opposed? Meeting adjourned.
As a member of this community, I'd like to say it was fantastic to be able to be here, and not for one of these people to be asked to express an opinion, to ask a question, and you just voted for our money. That's all I wanted.
Good statement.
It's actually, it's pathetic.
No,